Jessica heard the champagne bottle hit the marble floor before she fully understood what she was seeing. She had spent 4 months saving for that bottle of Dom Perignon, imagining how David would smile when she surprised him. Tonight was supposed to be a celebration of their 3 years together. Instead, she stood frozen in her apartment doorway, staring at the bedroom door that hung halfway open. Inside, David's bare back faced her. Sonia's red nails were digging into his shoulders. Her sister's legs were wrapped tightly around his waist. The bottle slipped from Jessica's hand and shattered across the floor. Sonia looked up first. Their eyes met, and Sonia smiled without a trace of guilt. When David turned and saw Jessica standing there, he did not rush to explain or even try to hide himself. He simply laughed. "What are you doing home already?" he asked, irritated. Jessica felt her chest tighten. "How long has this been going on?" "About a year," David replied casually. "I figured you would not be around much longer anyway. It is hard to stay committed to someone who is dying." The word struck harder than the betrayal itself. Jessica turned and walked out before her legs gave out beneath her. The cold February air hit her face as her heartbeat became uneven and painful. Couples passed her carrying flowers and Valentine's gifts while her vision slowly blurred. 2 blocks later, her heart faltered completely and she collapsed onto the sidewalk. People walked past without stopping. Just as darkness closed in, a car screeched to a halt beside her. Strong arms lifted her gently from the ground. "Stay with me," a deep, unfamiliar voice said urgently. "Do not close your eyes." Jessica tried to see the man holding her, but the world faded to black before she could. Before we continue, I would like to welcome you to my channel. My name is Jasmine and I am the author of this story. I truly appreciate all the support you have shown so far, and I want you to know that I love and appreciate every one of you for being here. If you are enjoying the story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, drop a comment and tell me where you are watching from. Now, let's continue because this story is about to take a turn nobody expects. Jessica woke to machines beeping. She opened her eyes slowly. Everything was too bright, too white. Hospital room. Monitors attached to her chest. 4 in her arm. Bandages around her torso. She turned her head and saw a nurse at the window. "What happened?" Jessica asked. Her voice was rough. The nurse turned quickly. Her face broke into a smile. "Oh, thank God. Let me get Dr. Stevenson." The nurse disappeared before Jessica could ask more. Jessica lay there trying to remember. The champagne. David and Sonia. The sidewalk. The man who picked her up. Then nothing. The door opened and Dr. Stevenson walked in. He was her cardiologist. The one who had told her she needed a transplant. "Jessica," Dr. Stevenson said warmly. He sat beside her bed. "How are you feeling?" "Confused," Jessica admitted. "What happened?" "You collapsed 4 days ago," Dr. Stevenson said gently. "Your heart was in complete failure. We did not think you would survive. But then something extraordinary happened." "What?" "A heart became available," Dr. Stevenson said. "A perfect match. We performed the transplant 48 hours ago. The operation was successful. You have a new heart, Jessica. A strong, healthy heart." Jessica stared at him. She reached up and pressed her hand against her chest. She could feel it. A heartbeat. Steady and strong. Not her heart. Someone else's heart. "Who?" Jessica whispered. "Who gave me their heart?" "The donor's family requested anonymity," Dr. Stevenson said carefully. "All I can tell you is that a man brought you in. He stayed until we stabilized you. Then he signed the authorization and left. We have not seen him since." "What man?" Jessica asked urgently. "I need to find him. I need to thank him." "We do not have any contact information," Dr. Stevenson said. "He paid for everything in cash. Refused to give a name or number. He just asked us to take care of you and then he left." Jessica felt tears sliding down her face. "Why would someone do that?" "I do not know," Dr. Stevenson said honestly. "But whoever he was, he gave you a second chance. What you do with it is up to you." Jessica stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks. Physical therapy. Learning to move with her new heart. Medications to prevent rejection. Slowly getting stronger. David never came. Not once. Sonia never called. Their mother came one time. She sat by Jessica's bed for 15 minutes and told her to forgive David and Sonia. That family was family. Jessica asked her to leave and not come back. The only person who came every day was Claire. Claire was Jessica's best friend. They had met in medical school. Worked at the same hospital. Claire had stood by Jessica through everything. "I am going to murder David," Claire announced on day 6. "And then your terrible sister. And then your mother." "Please do not go to prison for me," Jessica said. "You are worth it," Claire said fiercely. I cannot believe what they did to you. I know. Have you heard from them? No. And I do not want to. I changed the locks. Had David's things packed and left on the street. Blocked their numbers. I am done. Good, Claire said. They do not deserve you. Jessica looked down at her hands. I keep thinking about the man who saved me. The one who gave me this heart. Dr. Stevenson said he was connected to the donor somehow. But why not leave information? Why not let me thank him? Maybe he did not want thanks, Claire suggested. I wish I could remember what he looked like, Jessica said. You were dying, Claire reminded her. The fact that you are here is a miracle. Jessica nodded. She pressed her hand against her chest. Felt the steady beat. Thank you, she whispered to whoever had given her this gift. Wherever you are. Thank you. That night Jessica had the first dream. She was in a small apartment. Sparsely furnished. 2 men. Identical twins. They looked to be in their early 30s. Dark hair. Strong features. Hyung, one said in Korean. He was at the stove cooking. You need to eat. You are getting too thin. I eat enough, the other replied. He was at a table cleaning a gun. Stop worrying. Someone has to worry since you refuse to worry about yourself, the first twin said. He brought food to the table. The twin with the gun smiled slightly. You are bossy. One of us has to be, the cooking twin said fondly. The scene shifted. Now there was only one twin. Alone. Sitting on the floor holding a photograph. The other twin was in the photo. Smiling. Alive. I should have been faster, the living twin said. His voice was broken. I should have seen it coming. I should have saved you. He pressed the photograph to his chest and bent forward. I'm sorry. I failed you. Jessica woke up gasping. Her heart was pounding. Not irregularly. Just fast. Like she had been running. She pressed her hand against her chest. What was that? She had never had dreams that vivid. Never dreamed in languages she did not speak. Never seen people she did not know with such clarity. Jessica got out of bed and walked to the window. The city lights spread out below. Who were you? Jessica whispered. Whose heart am I carrying? The dreams continued every night. Jessica started keeping a journal. Every morning she wrote down everything she remembered. The faces. The words. The emotions. After 2 weeks she had filled a notebook with memories that were not her own. 4 weeks after her transplant, Jessica was cleared to go home. Claire drove her back and helped her upstairs. Made sure she had everything. I can stay, Claire offered. I will be fine, Jessica said. But thank you. After Claire left, Jessica walked through her apartment. Everything looked the same. But she was different. New heart. New chance. New life. She went to the bedroom and saw fresh sheets. Claire must have changed them. Jessica was grateful. She could not have slept on the sheets where she saw David with Sonia. 5 weeks after her transplant, Jessica went back to work. She was a cardiac surgeon. She had fought too hard to give it up. Dr. Stevenson cleared her for light duty. No surgeries yet. But she could consult. Her first day back, she was in the break room when she heard shouting from the emergency department. Jessica walked quickly toward the noise. A man was in a trauma bay, covered in blood, yelling at nurses in Korean, pushing them away. Someone call security, one nurse said. Wait, Jessica said. She did not know why, but something pulled her forward. She got close enough to see his face, and her new heart stopped. Not literally, but it felt like it, because she knew this face. She had been seeing this face in her dreams every night for 5 weeks. The man from her dreams. One of the twins. The living one. He looked up and their eyes met. His expression shifted from rage to shock. He went still. Stared at her like he was seeing a ghost. You, he said in accented English. You are alive. You know me? Jessica asked. The man stared at her. I brought you here. I gave you his heart. I thought you would die. I thought I failed again. Everything clicked into place. The man who found her on the street. The man who brought her to the hospital. The man who disappeared. It was him. What is your name? Jessica asked. Lee Taehyun, he said. He swayed. And I think I am about to pass out. He collapsed forward. Jessica caught him, but he was much bigger. They both went down. The nurses rushed forward. Started checking vitals. Cutting away his blood-soaked shirt. Jessica could see the wound now. A deep gash across his ribs. Not life-threatening, but it needed stitches. Get him into a bay, Jessica said. I will take care of him. Dr. Jessica, you are not cleared for procedures. I am cleared for suturing, Jessica said. And this is suturing. I can handle it. She helped get Taehyun onto a gurney and wheeled him into a trauma bay. Taehyun was conscious but dazed. He kept staring at her. You really are alive, he said. Thanks to you, Jessica replied. She was scrubbing her hands, putting on gloves, preparing anesthetic. This is going to hurt. I have had worse, Taehyun said. Jessica injected the anesthetic and waited. Then she started cleaning the gash. It was deep but clean, like it had been made with a sharp blade. What happened? Jessica asked as she worked. Business disagreement, Taehyun said vaguely. What kind of business involves knives? The kind I am trying to leave behind. Jessica started suturing. Her hands were steady. Years of training taking over. You saved my life. I gave you my brother's heart, Taehyun corrected. That is different. Your brother? My twin. Lee Tae-min. He was shot protecting someone. Brain dead. We had to let him go. I remembered you. The dying woman I brought in. The doctor said you needed a heart. So I told them to give you his. Jessica's hands paused for a second. Then she kept working. I am so sorry for your loss. Do not be sorry, Taehyun said. His voice was flat. You are alive because he died. That has to mean something. It was not pointless, Jessica said firmly. Your brother saved me. And so did you. Why did you disappear? Because I did not want thanks, Taehyun said. I wanted my brother back. Since I could not have that, I wanted to be alone. Jessica finished the last suture and started bandaging. You have been alone for 5 weeks? More or less. That is unhealthy. So is having a stranger's heart, Taehyun said. But here we are. Jessica looked at him. Really looked. He had dark circles under his eyes. 2 sharp cheekbones. He had lost weight. He looked like someone not eating or sleeping. When did you last eat? Jessica asked. I do not remember. When did you last sleep? Also do not remember. You are going to kill yourself, Jessica said. Maybe, Taehyun agreed. Would that bother you? Yes, Jessica said without hesitation. You saved my life. I do not want you throwing yours away. Something shifted in Taehyun's expression. Why do you care? Because I carry your brother's heart, Jessica said. She pressed her hand against her chest. I can feel it beating every second. And I have been having dreams about him. About both of you. Memories that are not mine. I think his heart is trying to tell me something. Taehyun went still. What kind of memories? You and your brother when you were younger. Training. Fighting. An older man teaching you. Your brother cooking while you cleaned a gun. You crying over his photograph. The car crash. The shooting. Everything. Taehyun's face went pale. That is not possible. I know it sounds insane, Jessica said. But I am a doctor. I have researched this. There are documented cases of cellular memory. Of transplant recipients experiencing their donors' memories. You are saying my brother's memories are inside you. I am saying something is inside me, Jessica said carefully. I do not understand it, but I know it is real. And I know it brought me to you. Taehyun stared at her. Then he said, tell me something. Something only Tae-min would know. Jessica closed her eyes and reached for the memories. You were 16. You broke your arm during training. Your brother set the bone because your father would not let you go to a hospital. He said you needed to learn to endure pain. Your brother held your hand while he said it. He told you a story about a tiger and a rabbit. Do you remember? Taehyun's eyes filled with tears. How could you possibly know that? I told you, Jessica said softly. I carry his heart. And his heart remembers you. Taehyun put his face in his hands. His shoulders shook. Jessica stood there not knowing what to do. Finally Taehyun looked up. His face was wet. Can I ask you something? Anything. Can I listen to it? His heart. Jessica understood. She moved closer, took his hand and placed it over her heart. He closed his eyes. His palm was warm through her scrubs. Jessica stood still and let him feel the heartbeat. Steady and strong. His brother's heart. Still beating. Thank you, Taehyun whispered. Thank you for living. Thank you for carrying him. Thank you for giving him to me, Jessica replied. They stood like that for a long moment. Connected by a heartbeat. By grief. By something neither could name but both could feel. Finally Taehyun dropped his hand. I should go. You should stay for observation, Jessica said. You just got stitched up. You lost blood. I cannot stay in hospitals, Taehyun said. Too many memories. Then come home with me, Jessica said. Taehyun looked at her like she had lost her mind. What? Come home with me, Jessica repeated. You need someone to make sure you do not rip your stitches. You need someone to make sure you eat. Let me do that. You saved my life. Let me help you. You do not know me. I know you better than you think, Jessica replied. I have been living with your brother's memories. I know how much you loved him. I know how much you are hurting. So please, come home with me. Just for tonight. Taehyun looked at her for a long time. Then he nodded. Just for tonight. She helped him off the table. Signed his discharge papers. Got him to her car. The drive was quiet. Taehyun stared out the window. Jessica could see his reflection. He looked lost. She got him upstairs. Settled him on the couch. Brought him water and medication. When did you last eat? Jessica asked again. Yesterday maybe. I am making you food, Jessica decided. Do not move. She went to the kitchen and started cooking. Rice and vegetables and chicken. Simple food. While she cooked, she could hear Taehyun moving around, looking at things. Her photographs. Her medical degree. You are a doctor, Taehyun said from the doorway. A cardiac surgeon, Jessica said. I specialize in hearts. That is ironic. A little, Jessica admitted. I spent years learning to fix hearts. Then mine started failing. It felt like a cruel joke. What happened? Viral cardiomyopathy, Jessica explained. I got sick a few years ago. Thought it was flu. But the virus attacked my heart. By the time we caught it, the damage was done. I was on the transplant list for 8 months. But you survived, Taehyun said. Because of your brother, Jessica replied. She turned to look at him. Because of you. Taehyun looked away. I did not do it for you. I did it for him. I could not save him. But I could make sure his heart kept beating. I appreciate it every single day, Jessica said quietly. She finished cooking and brought food to the table. Taehyun sat down slowly, wincing. Eat, Jessica commanded. Taehyun picked up chopsticks. Took a bite. Then another. Then he was eating like he had not seen food in days. Jessica ate more slowly, watching him. Trying to reconcile the man across from her with the man in her dreams. Can I ask you something? She said. Yes. What do you do? Taehyun set down his chopsticks. You do not want to know. I do. I was an enforcer, Taehyun said flatly. For a Korean organization. My brother and I both were. We grew up in it. Our father ran operations here. We were trained from childhood to fight. To kill if necessary. To protect the family business. Jessica absorbed this. And now I am trying to get out. My brother was trying to get out when he died. He took a bullet meant for someone else. They declared him brain dead. I had to let him go. After that I stopped caring. About the organization. About the business. About anything. But you cared enough to save me, Jessica pointed out. I told you. That was for him. Does it matter? Jessica asked. You still did it. Taehyun did not answer. He just went back to eating. After dinner, Jessica made up the couch. Brought him blankets and a pillow. Thank you, Taehyun said. You are welcome, Jessica replied. If you need anything, my room is right there. She went to her bedroom and changed. Lay down in bed. Her new heart was beating steadily. She could feel Taehyun in the other room. Could feel the connection between them. She fell asleep and dreamed. This time it was clear. Recent. Taehyun and Taemin in the car. The shooting. The crash. Taemin's final words. Live for both of us. Get out. Be free. Jessica woke up with tears on her face. She could feel the grief crushing her chest. Could feel the weight of losing someone you love. She got out of bed and walked to the living room. Taehyun was awake. Sitting on the couch with his head in his hands. He looked up when she came in. Bad dream? He asked. The worst one yet, Jessica admitted. I saw how he died. I saw you trying to save him. I felt everything you felt. Taehyun's expression crumbled. I am so sorry you have to carry that. Do not apologize, Jessica said. She sat next to him. I am glad I know. I am glad I understand. No one should understand that pain. Maybe not, Jessica agreed. But I do. And I am here. You do not have to carry it alone. Taehyun looked at her. Why are you being so kind? Because you were kind to me when I needed it, Jessica said simply. Because I carry your brother's heart and I think that means something. Because I do not want you to be alone. I have been alone my whole life, Taehyun said quietly. Even when Taemin was alive. That is what our life was like. It does not have to be like that anymore, Jessica said. You do not know what you are saying, Taehyun replied. You do not know what my life is like. The danger. The violence. The people who want me dead. Then tell me, Jessica said. Tell me everything. So he did. Taehyun talked for hours. About growing up in the organization. About his cruel father. About being trained to fight before he could write. About the jobs he and his brother had done. The people they had hurt. The lines they had crossed. He told her about wanting to leave. About Taemin's plan to disappear. About the night everything went wrong. He told her about the guilt. About feeling like he should have died instead. About not knowing how to live without his brother. Jessica listened to all of it. She did not judge. Did not pull away. She just listened. When he was done talking, the sun was coming up. "Thank you for telling me," Jessica said. "Thank you for listening," Taehyun replied. "You can talk to me anytime," Jessica said. "About anything." Taehyun looked at her with something like hope. "Why are you doing this?" "Because someone needs to," Jessica said. "And because I want to." They sat together as the sun rose. Two broken people. Connected by a heart that kept beating. Taehyun stayed. Not just that night. But the next. And the next. Jessica told him he could stay as long as he needed. He protested but she insisted. "You need somewhere safe to heal," she said. "And I have a spare bedroom." So Taehyun moved into her spare bedroom. It was temporary. They both said it was temporary. But as days turned into weeks, it felt permanent. Jessica went back to work full-time. Started doing surgeries. Her new heart was strong. She felt better than she had in years. Taehyun spent his days trying to untangle himself from the organization. Making calls. Having tense meetings. Coming home with bruises that Jessica would patch up without asking questions. They fell into a routine. Jessica would cook dinner. Taehyun would clean up. They would sit together and watch television or just talk. "This is nice," Taehyun said one evening. "What is nice?" Jessica asked. "This. Being here. Having somewhere to come home to. Having someone who cares if I live or die." Jessica set down her book. "I care very much if you live or die." "I know," Taehyun said. "That is what makes it nice." 2 months after Taehyun moved in, David showed up at Jessica's door. Jessica answered the knock expecting a delivery. Instead she found David holding flowers. "What are you doing here?" Jessica asked. "I came to see you," David said. He was smiling. "I heard you got a transplant. That you are healthy now. I wanted to congratulate you." "Congratulate me," Jessica repeated flatly. "And to apologize," David continued. "What happened was wrong. I was scared. I did not know how to handle your illness. But now that you are better, I think we should try again." Jessica stared at him. "You think we should try again?" "I know I hurt you," David said. "But people make mistakes. I am willing to forgive you for overreacting if you forgive me for what happened with Sonia." "Forgive you," Jessica said. Her voice was getting louder. "Forgive you for sleeping with my sister in my bed on Valentine's Day?" "It was a mistake," David said. "It did not mean anything." "It meant everything to me," Jessica shot back. "It meant you are a terrible person. It meant I wasted 3 years. It meant I deserve better." "Come on, Jessica," David said, still smiling. "You know we are good together. Now that you are healthy, we can have a future." "Now that I am healthy," Jessica repeated. "So you only want me because I am not dying?" "That is not what I meant." "That is exactly what you meant," Jessica said. "You told me I was a corpse waiting to happen. You told me you were tired of pretending to care. And now that I have a new heart, you think you can walk back in." "I made a mistake," David said. "But I still love you." "No you do not," Jessica said. "You never did. And I do not love you anymore either. So take your flowers and leave." "You are being unreasonable," David said. His smile was fading. "You should be grateful I am giving you another chance." "Grateful?" Jessica felt rage building. "I should be grateful?" "Not many men would want someone with a transplant," David said. "Someone who is damaged goods." That was when Taehyun appeared behind Jessica. He had been in his room. He must have heard the raised voices. He walked up behind Jessica and put his hand on her shoulder. "Who is this?" David asked. His eyes narrowed. "You have a man living with you? How long have you been cheating on me?" "We broke up," Jessica said. "I cannot cheat on someone I am not with." "We never officially broke up," David argued. "You sleeping with my sister was pretty official," Jessica shot back. Taehyun squeezed her shoulder gently. Then he looked at David. "She told you to leave. So leave." "This is none of your business," David said. "It became my business when you upset her," Taehyun replied. His voice was calm, quiet. But there was something underneath that made David step back. "She does not want you here. She does not want your flowers. She does not want your apology. She wants you gone." "And who are you exactly?" David demanded. "Someone who actually cares about her," Taehyun said simply. "Now leave before I make you leave." David looked at Taehyun, saw the muscle, the scars. The cold eyes that said he had done violence and would do it again. Fine, David said. He dropped the flowers. She's not worth it anyway. Damaged goods. You can have her. He turned and walked away. Jessica slammed the door. She was shaking. Are you okay? Taehyun asked gently. I am furious, Jessica said. I am so angry I could scream. Then scream, Taehyun said. No one will judge you. So Jessica screamed. Long and loud. All the anger she had been holding poured out. When she was done, she felt lighter. Better? Taehyun asked. Much better, Jessica admitted. Thank you for that. And for getting rid of him. He is an idiot, Taehyun said. You are not damaged goods. You are a miracle. You survived. You are stronger than he could ever be. Jessica looked up at him. Do you really think that? I know it, Taehyun said. I have seen you work. Seen how you help people. How you fight for your patients. You are extraordinary. And he is too stupid to see it. Something shifted between them. Jessica had been attracted to Taehyun since the beginning. How could she not be? He was beautiful, strong, protective. But she had told herself it was just gratitude. Standing here with his hand on her shoulder and his eyes full of something she was afraid to name, she knew it was more. Taehyun, she said softly. Yes. I need to tell you something. Okay. I think I am falling in love with you. Taehyun went still. Jessica. I know it is complicated, Jessica continued. I know we have only known each other 2 months. I know I carry your brother's heart. But I cannot help how I feel. And I feel like I have known you forever. Like we were meant to find each other. You do not love me, Taehyun said. His voice was strained. You love what I represent. Safety. Protection. The person who saved you. I know who you are, Jessica said firmly. I have seen it. In the memories. In the dreams. In the way you take care of me. In the way you are trying to leave your old life. I know you, Taehyun. And I am still falling in love with you. I am not a good man, Taehyun said. I have done terrible things. So have I, Jessica replied. I let David treat me like garbage for 3 years because I was afraid of being alone. I pushed away everyone who cared when I got sick because I did not want to burden them. I made mistakes. I hurt people. But that does not mean I do not deserve love. And neither do you. Taehyun was looking at her like she was something precious. If I let myself love you, I will never be able to let you go. Then do not let me go, Jessica said. Keep me. Choose me. Let me choose you. You do not know what you are asking. Yes, I do, Jessica said. I'm asking you to take a chance. To let yourself be happy. To stop punishing yourself for your brother's death. He would not want you to be alone. He told you to live for both of you. So live. With me. Taehyun reached out and cupped her face with both hands. Are you sure? I have never been more sure of anything, Jessica said. He kissed her then. Soft and careful and full of restrained emotion. Like he was afraid she would break. Jessica kissed him back and felt Taemin's heart pound. Not her heart. But it felt like hers now. Like it was beating for both of them. When they pulled apart, Taehyun rested his forehead against hers. I love you, he said. I think I have loved you since I saw you lying on that sidewalk. I thought you were an angel. And when you survived, it felt like maybe there was still good in the world. I love you too, Jessica whispered. And we are going to be okay. We are going to build something beautiful. I hope you are right, Taehyun said. I am always right, Jessica replied with a smile. I'm a doctor. It comes with the job. Taehyun laughed. The first genuine laugh she had heard from him since they met. And Jessica knew in that moment that everything was going to be okay. The next few weeks were the happiest of Jessica's life. She and Taehyun fell into a relationship that felt both new and ancient. Like they had been together forever. Like they were just beginning. Taehyun finally cut all ties with the organization. It was not easy. There were threats. There were attempts to pull him back. There were nights when he came home bloody. But Jessica was always there. Patching him up. Holding him. Reminding him why he was fighting. Jessica's career flourished. She was doing groundbreaking work. Publishing papers. Speaking at conferences. Living the life she thought was over. Claire approved of Taehyun immediately. He is good for you, she told Jessica over coffee. I have never seen you this happy. I have never been this happy, Jessica admitted. What about the heart thing? Do you still have the dreams? Sometimes, Jessica said. But less often. I think Taemin's heart is at peace. I think he knows his brother is okay. That is beautiful, Claire said. 3 months after they got together, something happened that tested everything. Jessica came home from work to find their apartment door slightly open. She knew immediately something was wrong. She pushed it open carefully. The living room had been torn apart. Furniture overturned. Cushions slashed. Her medical journals scattered. Taehyun. Jessica called out. No answer. She walked through carefully. The kitchen was destroyed. The bedrooms ransacked. But Taehyun was nowhere. On her bedroom mirror, someone had written a message in red lipstick. He belongs to us. Stay away or die. Jessica's phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Dr. Jessica, a woman's voice said. Cold. Korean accented English. My name is Park Minji. I believe you have been living with someone who belongs to me. Who are you? Jessica demanded. I am Taehyun's fiancé, Minji said. Or I was before he decided to run away and play house with you. He never mentioned a fiancé. Of course not, Minji said. He has been trying to escape his responsibilities. But that ends now. Where is he? Jessica asked. Somewhere safe, Minji said. Somewhere he can remember his real life. You need to understand something. Taehyun is part of something bigger than your little romance. He has duties. Responsibilities. He wants out, Jessica said. What he wants is irrelevant, Minji said coldly. He is the last surviving heir of the Lee family organization. His father is dying. Someone needs to take over. That someone is Taehyun. Let me talk to him, Jessica demanded. No. Let me talk to him or I am calling the police. Minji laughed. The police work for us. But fine. If you want to talk to him, come to the Orchid Club on 5th Street. Midnight tonight. Come alone. If you bring anyone he dies. The line went dead. Jessica stood in her destroyed apartment. She should call the police. Should call Claire. Should get help. But Minji said the police worked for them. And she threatened to kill Taehyun if Jessica brought anyone. She could not risk it. At 11:30, Jessica got into her car and drove to the Orchid Club. It was high-end. Expensive. The kind of place where powerful people did business. Jessica walked up to the door. 2 massive security guards blocked her path. I am here to see Park Minji, Jessica said. One guard spoke into a radio. A moment later he nodded and stepped aside. Jessica walked into the club on shaking legs. The interior was dark wood and soft lighting and expensive alcohol. A hostess led Jessica through to a private area. Minji was waiting in a booth. She was beautiful in a cold perfect way. Sleek black hair. Designer clothes. Diamond jewelry. She looked like money and power and danger. Taehyun sat next to her. His hands were zip-tied. His face was bruised. But he was alive. Jessica, no, Taehyun said when he saw her. You should not have come. Shut up, Minji said pleasantly. She gestured to the seat across from her. Sit, Dr. Jessica. Let us talk like civilized people. Jessica sat. Her eyes never left Taehyun. You came alone? Minji asked. Yes. Good. That shows you can follow instructions. Minji picked up wine and took a sip. I'm going to make this simple. Taehyun belongs to me. He has belonged to me since we were children. Our engagement was arranged by our families. It is a matter of honor and business and tradition. He does not want to marry you, Jessica said. What he wants does not matter, Minji replied. What matters is his duty. His responsibility. His family legacy. His family is dead, Jessica shot back. His brother is dead. He does not owe anyone anything. Minji's expression turned icy. His father is still alive. Barely. When his father dies, Taehyun will take over the organization. With me by his side as his wife. That is how this works. And if he refuses? Then people he cares about will start dying, Minji said simply. She looked at Jessica with cold eyes. Starting with you. Taehyun lunged forward but the zip ties held. If you touch her, I will kill you myself. You will do no such thing, Minji said calmly. Because you love her. Which makes her perfect leverage. Jessica felt ice run down her spine. Here is what is going to happen, Minji continued. Taehyun is going to come home with me. He is going to fulfill his obligations. He is going to marry me next month. And you are going to disappear from his life completely. No, Jessica said. No. Minji raised an eyebrow. You do not have a choice. Yes, I do, Jessica said. She stood up. And I choose to fight for him. I choose to stand with him. I choose to not let you control our lives. Minji laughed. You are brave. Stupid. But brave. She made a gesture and the 2 guards appeared. They grabbed Jessica's arms. Let her go. Taehyun shouted. I will let her go when you agree to my terms, Minji said. Will you come home? Will you fulfill your duty? Taehyun looked at Jessica. His eyes were full of anguish. Do not do it, Jessica said. Whatever she is threatening, we will figure it out together. She will kill you, Taehyun said. Then let her try, Jessica replied. I did not survive a heart transplant to let some entitled princess dictate my life. Minji's expression went dark. You have no idea who you are dealing with. Neither do you, Jessica said. I am a cardiac surgeon. I have held beating hearts in my hands. I have brought people back from death. I have fought for everything I have. So if you think I am going to run away scared, you are very wrong. Minji stood up slowly. She walked over to Jessica until they were face to face. Then she slapped Jessica hard across the face. Jessica's head snapped to the side. She tasted blood. But she did not back down. She looked Minji straight in the eye. Is that all you have? Jessica asked. Minji's hand came up again, but Taehyun shouted something in Korean. Sharp and commanding. Minji stopped. Turned to look at him. Taehyun spoke rapidly in Korean. His voice was cold and authoritative. Minji's expression shifted to surprise. Then calculation. She said something back. Taehyun replied. Whatever he said made Minji go very still. Finally Minji nodded slowly. She gestured to the guards. They released Jessica. Minji walked over to Taehyun and cut his zip ties with a knife. You have 1 month, Minji said in English. 1 month to put your affairs in order. 1 month to say goodbye. Then you come home. You take your father's place. You marry me. Do you understand? I understand, Taehyun said. If you try to run, I will find you, Minji continued. If you try to hide, I will burn down everything you care about. 1 month. She turned and walked out. The guards followed. Jessica and Taehyun were left alone. Jessica immediately went to him. Are you okay? I am fine, Taehyun said. He pulled her into his arms. I am so sorry you got dragged into this. What did you say to her? Jessica asked. Taehyun pulled back. I agreed to give her 1 month. In exchange, she leaves you alone. She does not touch you. She forgets you exist. And after 1 month? After 1 month I go back, Taehyun said quietly. I take over. I marry Minji. I become who my father wanted me to be. No, Jessica said immediately. Absolutely not. We will find another way. There is no other way, Taehyun said. This is my life, Jessica. This is who I really am. You are not going back to that life, Jessica said fiercely. We will fight this together. She will kill you, Taehyun said. Then we make sure she cannot, Jessica replied. We have 1 month. We use that month to find a way out. To build a case. To destroy her power. Taehyun looked at her with wonder. You are not afraid. I am terrified, Jessica admitted. But I love you more than I fear her. And I am not giving up without a fight. Taehyun kissed her hard and desperate. When they pulled apart, he pressed his forehead against hers. 1 month, he said. We have 1 month to change everything. Then we had better get started, Jessica replied. They left the Orchid Club together. Hand in hand. Ready to fight. They had no idea what they were up against. But they were going to face it together. Over the next week, Jessica and Taehyun planned carefully. We need to understand exactly what we are dealing with, Jessica said. She had a notebook open. Who is Minji exactly? What power does she have? Her family controls most of the Korean organized crime on the East Coast, Taehyun explained. Gambling. Loan sharking. Protection. Legitimate businesses for money laundering. Her father and my father built their empires together. The engagement was arranged when we were children to unite the families. But you never wanted to marry her. I never wanted any of this, Taehyun said. Neither did Taemin. We spent our whole lives looking for a way out. Jessica took his hand. We will find a better way. I promise. Her phone rang. Claire. Jessica answered. Hey. Where have you been? Claire demanded. I have been calling since last night. Are you okay? I am fine, Jessica said. Something came up. Can I come over? Actually yes, Jessica said. I need your help. Claire arrived 30 minutes later. She took one look at Taehyun's bruised face and went into protective mode. Who did this? She demanded. Long story, Taehyun said. Jessica filled Claire in on everything. The ransacked apartment. Minji. The Orchid Club. The 1 month deadline. Claire listened with increasing fury. Absolutely not. We are not letting some psycho crime princess dictate your lives. That is what I said, Jessica replied. But we need a plan. What about the police? Claire suggested. Minji said they work for them, Jessica said. What about the FBI? Taehyun shook his head. The organization has connections everywhere. Federal agents, judges, politicians, Going to law enforcement could get us killed. Then what do we do? Claire asked. We gather evidence, Jessica said. We document everything. We find proof of Minji's crimes. We build a case so strong that even her connections cannot save her. They spent the next 2 weeks planning. Taehyun reached out to old contacts. People who had worked with Taemin. People who were tired of the organization. People who wanted out. Jessica focused on the financial side. She was good with numbers. She started digging into the legitimate businesses, looking for evidence of money laundering and fraud. Claire acted as their liaison. She made sure Jessica's work was covered. She kept watch. She became their early warning system. 2 weeks in, David showed up at the hospital again. Jessica was between surgeries when security called. She went down expecting it to be patient-related. Instead, David was waiting with roses. What are you doing here? Jessica asked coldly. I came to see you, David said, smiling. I brought flowers. I do not want your flowers. Jessica, please, David said. Just 5 minutes. You have 2 minutes. I made a terrible mistake, David began. Leaving you. Choosing Sonia. I have been miserable without you. Good. Sonia left me, David continued, whining. She was only with me for money. When I lost everything when you kicked me out, she just disappeared. That sounds like a you problem. But I heard about your transplant, David said. His eyes brightened. You got a new heart. You are healthy. We could have a real future. We never talked about a future, Jessica corrected. You talked about what you wanted. I just went along because I was afraid to be alone. That is not true. Yes, it is, Jessica said. And I am not afraid anymore. I have a real life now. With someone who actually loves me. Someone who stayed when things got hard. David's expression turned ugly. You are talking about that thug. That Korean criminal. His name is Taehyun, Jessica said. And he is 10 times the man you could ever be. He is using you, David said. He is just with you because you are convenient. Jessica felt her temper snap. Get out. Right now. Before I call security. You are making a huge mistake, David said. No one else is going to want you. You are damaged goods. Security, Jessica called out. 2 guards approached. This man is harassing me. Please escort him out and do not let him back in. You are going to regret this, David said as guards took his arms. I am counting on it, Jessica replied. That night she told Taehyun about it. Did he threaten you? Taehyun asked immediately. Not really, Jessica said. He was just pathetic. Do you want me to handle him? No, Jessica said quickly. He's not worth it. He is just a sad man with a big ego. If he bothers you again, tell me, Taehyun said. I will, Jessica promised. 3 weeks into their month they got a break. One of Taehyun's contacts came through. Minji was planning a major meeting. A gathering where business would be discussed. Money would change hands. It was happening in 4 days. This is it, Taehyun said. This is our chance to get evidence. How? Jessica asked. I go to the meeting, Taehyun said. I am still technically part of the family. I wear a wire. I record everything. That is incredibly dangerous, Jessica said. I know, Taehyun agreed. But it is our best shot. They spent the next 4 days preparing. Taehyun's contact provided a sophisticated recording device. Small enough to hide. Powerful enough to capture clear audio. The night of the meeting, Jessica helped Taehyun get ready. She taped the device to his chest. Made sure it was hidden. Be careful, she said. Please be careful. I will, Taehyun promised. He kissed her gently. I will come back to you. You had better, Jessica said. She watched him leave. Then she sat on the couch and waited. The meeting was at a private estate outside the city. Taehyun said it would last at least 3 hours. Jessica tried to distract herself. But she could not focus on anything except the clock. 3 hours passed. Then 4. Then 5. Jessica's phone finally rang at 11:30. Taehyun. Are you okay? She asked immediately. I am fine, Taehyun said. I am on my way back. And I got everything. Every incriminating word. Jessica felt relief flood through her. Thank God. Hurry home. I will be there in 40 minutes. Jessica hung up and let herself breathe. 30 minutes later, someone knocked. Jessica looked through the peephole. Claire. She opened the door. What is wrong? We need to talk, Claire said. She walked in quickly. I just got a disturbing call. From who? Your mother, Claire said. She wanted me to tell you that Sonia is in trouble. Her boyfriend kicked her out. She has nowhere to go. Your mother wants you to let Sonia stay here. Jessica felt anger flash. Absolutely not. After what Sonia did, she can figure out her own problems. That is what I told your mother, Claire said. But she said you are being cruel. She said family should help family. Sonia stopped being my family when she betrayed me, Jessica said flatly. She made her choices. Now she lives with them. Your mother is threatening to come here herself. Let her try, Jessica said. I will have security escort her out like they did David. Good, Claire said. I am proud of you. They talked for a few more minutes. Then Claire left. Taehyun arrived 20 minutes later. He looked exhausted but triumphant. I got it all, he said. He pulled out the recording device and connected it to Jessica's laptop. Listen. They spent the next hour listening. It was everything they needed. Minji and the other family heads discussing drug shipments, money laundering, bribery, murder. All recorded clearly. This is enough to put them away for decades, Jessica said. If we can get it to the right people, Taehyun said. We need someone we can trust. Someone who cannot be bought. I might know someone, Jessica said slowly. There is a federal prosecutor. She did a lecture at the hospital last year. She seemed tough, incorruptible. And she is not from this area, so she would not have connections. Can you reach out? Taehyun asked. I can try. The next morning, Jessica made the call. It took convincing, but the prosecutor agreed to meet. Privately. Off the record. They met in a coffee shop 2 hours outside the city. The prosecutor's name was Catherine Walsh. She was in her 50s with sharp eyes. Jessica and Taehyun played her the recording. Catherine listened to the entire thing without interrupting. When it finished, she sat back. This is incredibly damning, she said, but also incredibly dangerous. If they find out you have it, they will kill you both. We know, Taehyun said. I can protect you, Catherine said, but you will need to go into witness protection. New names. New lives. Complete separation from everything you know. Jessica and Taehyun looked at each other. We will do it, Jessica said. Whatever it takes. Give me 48 hours, Catherine said. I need to put together a team I can trust. People not on any criminal payroll. Then we move fast. We arrest everyone at once before they can run. 48 hours, Taehyun agreed. They left feeling hopeful. They had a plan. They had protection. They had a real chance. But the next night, everything changed. Jessica's mother showed up with Sonia. Jessica answered the door and tried to close it. But her mother shoved her foot in. We need to talk, her mother said. No, we do not. Your sister needs help. She has nowhere to go. You have to let her stay. I absolutely do not have to do anything, Jessica said. Sonia pushed forward. She looked terrible. Unwashed hair. Wrinkled clothes. Red eyes. Please, Jessica, Sonia begged. I'm so sorry. I made a horrible mistake. I am desperate. I have no money. No place to stay. Trevor kicked me out. Trevor? Jessica asked. My boyfriend, Sonia said. The one I left David for. He said he loved me. But then he found out about my past. About what I did to you. He said I was trash. He threw me out with nothing. Karma is efficient, Jessica said coldly. Please, Sonia said again. Tears streaming. I know I do not deserve your help. But I have nowhere else. You should have thought about that before you slept with my boyfriend in my bed, Jessica said. That was David's fault, Sonia tried. He seduced me. He said you were dying anyway and he needed comfort. Do not blame David for your choices, Jessica said. You chose to betray me. You chose to laugh at me. Those were your choices. Live with the consequences. You are being cruel, their mother said. She is your sister. I do not have to do anything, Jessica replied. And you need to leave. Both of you. Right now. At least give her money, their mother demanded. You are rich now. I am not giving her anything, Jessica said. She can get a job. She can take responsibility. You have changed, their mother said accusingly. You used to be kind. I used to be a doormat, Jessica corrected. I used to let people walk over me because I was afraid. But I am not that person anymore. I survived a heart transplant. I rebuilt my life. I am not letting either of you drag me down. So that is it? Sonia asked. You are just going to abandon me? You abandoned me first, Jessica said. When you betrayed me. When you laughed at my pain. You made your bed. Sleep in it. You are going to regret this, their mother warned. I already have family, Jessica said. People who actually love me. You two are not my family anymore. She closed the door in their faces and locked it. She could hear them arguing in the hallway. Hear Sonia crying. But Jessica did not open the door. Taehyun came out of the bedroom. Are you okay? I am perfect, Jessica said. That felt amazing. You were incredible, Taehyun said. He pulled her into his arms. Thank you for letting me handle that myself. You did not need me, Taehyun replied. You are strong enough to fight your own battles. Jessica kissed him. One more day. Then we can disappear and start over. One more day, Taehyun agreed. The next morning Catherine called. We are ready, she said. We move tonight. Midnight. Can you be at the safe house I texted you by 11? We will be there, Jessica said. They spent the day packing essentials. Important documents. Sentimental items. Everything they would need for their new life. At 10:30, they loaded Jessica's car and started driving. They were halfway to the safe house when black SUVs surrounded them. Armed men forced them off the road, dragged them from the car, put hoods over their heads. Jessica felt terror spike through her. This was it. Minji had found out. They were driven somewhere, dragged inside a building. The hoods were removed. They were in a warehouse. Minji stood in the center flanked by armed guards. Taehyun's father was there too. An older man Jessica recognized from the dreams. Did you really think you could betray us? Minji asked. Did you really think we would not find out? How? Taehyun demanded. Your contact, Minji said. The one who gave you the recording device. He works for us. Always has. We let you gather your little evidence. Let you think you had a chance. And then we followed you straight to your federal prosecutor. Jessica's blood ran cold. Catherine Walsh is currently under arrest for obstruction, Minji continued. Planted evidence in her car. She will spend years fighting charges. And your recording? Destroyed. You have nothing. Taehyun's father stepped forward. You have embarrassed me for the last time. Running away. Playing house. Trying to destroy everything I built. You destroyed yourself, Taehyun said coldly. His father hit him. Hard. Taehyun's head snapped to the side but he did not make a sound. And you, Minji said looking at Jessica. You just could not stay away. You had to fight for him. You had to think you were special. She pulled out a gun and pointed it at Jessica's chest. No. Taehyun lunged forward but guards restrained him. I am going to kill her, Minji said. And you are going to watch. And then you are going to come home where you belong. She aimed at Jessica's heart. And then chaos erupted. Federal agents poured in from every direction. Dozens of them. SWAT teams. FBI. Catherine Walsh walked in behind them. Alive. Free. Smiling. Park Minji, you are under arrest, Catherine said. For attempted murder, racketeering, money laundering, and about 50 other charges. Minji spun around in shock. How? Your contact, Catherine said. The one you thought was feeding us to you? He has been working with us for 6 months. Everything you just said was recorded. Every threat. Every confession. We have it all. More agents flooded in. Arresting people. Securing the warehouse. They took Minji away in handcuffs. Took Taehyun's father. Took dozens of others. When the chaos died down, Jessica found herself standing with Taehyun's arms around her. How? Taehyun asked Catherine. How did you do this? Your brother, Catherine said. Before he died he reached out to the FBI. He gave us information. Names. Locations. He started this investigation. We have been building a case for a year. You two showing up with that recording was the final piece we needed. Taehyun's eyes filled with tears. Taemin did this? He did, Catherine confirmed. He wanted you to be free. He wanted both of you to be free. When he died we thought the case was dead too. But then you two came to us. And we realized we could finish what he started. Jessica pressed her hand against her chest. Felt Taemin's heart beating. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for protecting him. Thank you for saving us both. Catherine smiled. You are going to have to testify. Multiple trials. It is going to take time. But they are going to prison. All of them. For life. And we are free? Taehyun asked. You are free, Catherine confirmed. Taehyun pulled Jessica close and kissed her. Long and deep and desperate. When they pulled apart, Jessica was crying. It is over, she said. It is really over. It is over, Taehyun agreed. We get to have a life. 6 months later, Jessica and Taehyun stood in front of a judge and got married. A small ceremony. Just Claire and a few close friends. Nothing elaborate. Jessica wore a simple white dress. Taehyun wore a dark suit. They exchanged vows they had written. I promise to love you, Jessica said. To stand with you. To fight for you. To choose you every day for the rest of our lives. I promise to protect you, Taehyun said. To cherish you. To be worthy of the gift you have given me. To love you with everything I have. When the judge pronounced them married, Taehyun kissed Jessica and their small group cheered. At the reception, Claire gave a toast. To Jessica and Taehyun, she said, raising her glass. Two people who proved that love is worth fighting for. That second chances are real. That even the darkest moments can lead to the most beautiful futures. Everyone drank to that. Later, Jessica and Taehyun lay in bed in their new apartment. The apartment they had picked together. The home they were building. Happy? Taehyun asked. Deliriously happy, Jessica replied. You? More than I ever thought possible, Taehyun said. He pressed his hand over her heart. Thank you for carrying him with you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for saving me, Jessica said. In every way a person can be saved. They fell asleep wrapped around each other. 2 years after the wedding, Jessica found out she was pregnant. She took the test 3 times to make sure. Then she scheduled an appointment with her cardiologist. There were risks. Pregnancy was hard on the heart. Especially a transplanted heart. But Dr. Stevenson was optimistic. Your heart is strong, he said. You are healthy. I do not see why you cannot have a baby. We will monitor you closely. Jessica told Taehyun that night over dinner. She had bought tiny baby shoes. She set them on the table in front of him. Taehyun stared at them. Then at her. Are you? I am, Jessica confirmed. Taehyun stood up so fast his chair fell over. He crossed to her and dropped to his knees. Pressed his face against her stomach. We are having a baby, he said. His voice was thick with emotion. We are having a baby, Jessica confirmed. I am going to be a father, Taehyun said. He looked up at her with tears in his eyes. I never thought I would get to be a father. You are going to be an amazing father, Jessica said. The pregnancy was monitored closely. Jessica had to take extra medications. Had to rest more. But she did not care. She was building a family. Taehyun was protective to the point of absurdity. He barely let her lift anything. He insisted on cooking. He went to every appointment. You are being ridiculous, Jessica told him. I am pregnant, not made of glass. You are carrying our child, Taehyun replied. And you have a transplanted heart. I am allowed to be protective. You are allowed, Jessica agreed. But you also need to let me breathe. Fine, Taehyun said. I will try to be less protective. He lasted exactly 2 hours before he was back to hovering. Jessica did not mind. She knew it came from love. On a warm September evening, Jessica went into labor. Taehyun drove her to the hospital. Held her hand through every contraction. Stayed by her side through 14 hours of labor. And when their daughter was born, when the nurse placed that tiny perfect baby in Jessica's arms, Taehyun cried. She is beautiful, he whispered. She is perfect. She is ours, Jessica said. Our miracle. They named her Minhee. A Korean name meaning beautiful wisdom. A name that honored Taemin and everything he had given them. Claire came to visit the next day. She held her goddaughter and cried happy tears. She is absolutely perfect, Claire said. She really is, Jessica agreed. As Claire was leaving, she paused. You know, I have been thinking about Sonia. What about her? Jessica asked. She went back to Nigeria, Claire said. Your mother told me. Sonia had nowhere to go here. No money. No friends. Your mother could not support her. So she bought her a plane ticket back to Lagos. Sonia is living with your aunt now. Working in the aunt's shop. Good, Jessica said. Maybe she will learn something about hard work and consequences. Your mother is angry with you. My mother is always angry with me, Jessica replied. I have made peace with that. Later that night, as Jessica was nursing Minhee, she thought about how far she had come. From dying on a sidewalk to this. A beautiful daughter. A loving husband. A full life. She pressed her hand over her heart. Taemin's heart. Still beating strong. Thank you, she whispered. For all of it. The years passed in a blur of happiness. Jessica and Taehyun raised Minhee with love and laughter. They had another child 3 years later. A son they named Taejun. They built a life filled with joy. Taehyun started his own security firm. Legitimate business helping protect people who needed it. Using his skills for good. Jessica became head of cardiology at her hospital. Published groundbreaking research. Saved countless lives. They bought a house with a backyard. Got a dog. Hosted dinner parties with Claire and other friends. On their 10th anniversary they renewed their vows. Standing in the same place they had married. Surrounded by their children and friends. Reaffirming their love. 10 years ago you saved my life, Jessica said. And every day since you have made that life worth living. 10 years ago I thought I had lost everything, Taehyun said. And then I found you. And you showed me that it is never too late to start over. To be happy. To be loved. They kissed as their children cheered. That night, lying in bed, Taehyun pressed his hand over Jessica's heart. Do you still have the dreams? He asked. Not in years, Jessica said. I think Taemin is at peace. I think he knows we are happy. I hope so, Taehyun said. I hope he knows what his gift gave us. What his sacrifice meant. He knows, Jessica said with certainty. He knows and he is happy for us. Jessica and Taehyun grew old together. They watched their children grow up. Minhee became a doctor like her mother. Taejun became a teacher. Both of them found love. Both of them built beautiful lives. They gave Jessica and Taehyun grandchildren. 4 beautiful grandchildren who called them Halmiani and Harabiaji. Jessica retired from surgery at 65. But she continued teaching. Mentoring young doctors. Passing on everything she had learned. Taehyun retired at the same time. They traveled. They volunteered. They spent time with their grandchildren. On their 50th anniversary, their children threw them a huge party. 100 people came. Friends, family, colleagues, people whose lives they had touched. Minhee gave a speech. My parents have the greatest love story I have ever known, she said. They met on the worst day of my mother's life. When she was dying. When she had given up. And my father saved her. Not just physically. But in every way a person can be saved. She raised her glass. To 50 years of love. Of partnership. Of showing us all what it means to choose each other every single day. Everyone toasted. Jessica cried happy tears. Taehyun held her hand. 50 years, Jessica said. Best 50 years of my life, Taehyun replied. We got our happy ending, Jessica said. We did, Taehyun agreed. Against all odds. We actually did. That night, lying in bed in the house they had lived in for 40 years, Jessica pressed her hand against her chest. Taemin's heart was still beating. 77 years old and still going strong. Thank you, Jessica whispered one more time. For giving us this life. For making all of this possible. She fell asleep with Taehyun's arms around her. Safe, love, happy. Exactly as they were always meant to be. So tell me, was Jessica right to fight for Taehyun? Did she make the right choice staying with him despite the danger? What moment hit you the hardest? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story touched you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe because I have got more stories that will make you feel everything. Thank you for listening. Until next time, remember that second chances are real, love is worth fighting for, and sometimes the worst days lead to the most beautiful lives.